tell you, COVID, it spreads like roaches. I'm just here to tell you from experience, it spreads like roaches. You know, the same way y'all get checked for like STDs, y'all better start regular getting checkups for the COVID. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from what I normally do, from the tutorials to the concoctions I'll be stir frying together, whatever you want to call it. I figured why not do a story time for my natural hair fam, just to kind of let you guys know what I experienced when I was positive. Spam the comments up, exchange stories. I'm telling y'all my story time. Give me a little piece of your story, all right? And then we could just share our stories together. So with that being said, like, subscribe, you know, do all that stuff for your girl. It's free 99 to hit the sub. It's free. It don't cost nothing. With that being said, do what you do. So let me start from the beginning, and let's just be clear, I'm negative now, so don't be talking about in the comments, why you outside and you positive? No ma'am, she's negative. I'm just giving you a little quick story time, all right? So basically my mom, she had cut her finger. Like, it was bleeding pretty profusely or whatever, right? So she cut her finger, and after we were like all looking at it, we just kind of pretty much came to a collective decision and was like, you know what, you need to go to the ER. Keep in mind, having nobody really been in the hospitals like that, I was low-key kind of nervous, you know what I'm saying, just because of this whole pandemic thing. And it's the ER, everybody's sick, and just for one, hospitals are just disgusting in general, in my personal opinion. Goes to the ER, comes back home after like a couple hours or whatever, and like a couple days later she started like to get kind of like sick. I'm thinking, I don't even think any of us really knew what was really going on. We were just like, oh, whatever, let's give you some tea, let's do this, you know, the basic stuff people do when they feel like they have like a little common cold. It wasn't until like maybe like a week had pretty much went by, or was coming up on a week, because she was gonna have to get her stitches taken out. She had got stitches, so went to the ER, got stitches, right? And hopefully, can y'all see me? I think y'all can see me from this angle. Okay, I hope there's no glare. Okay, let's do it from right here. So anyways, pretty much about a week had went by, right? So it started to come to the end of the week, and I'm like, maybe you should get tested for Corona, just to see, because at that point none of us in the house have even gotten tested. A couple days later she got tested, because that's when she was gonna go get her stitches removed. Well, she ended up being positive, so now we like, damn, everybody else in the house got to get tested. So that's me, my brother, and then the twins, right? So we're pretty much thinking my mom got it in the ER. My oldest brother took her to the ER. They didn't have a mask on in the car. He was fine. He was negative, right? So it wasn't until when she got back home she started experiencing symptoms. So I don't know what was going on in that ER. Clearly people are sick in there. Maybe some particles were still in the air after someone maybe coughed or sneezed, and maybe it landed. My mom obviously had on her mask, but who knows? But we know it came from the ER. So I don't know if it came from her having that open cut and a particle landed on her open cut. We don't know, but we just, when you know, when we found out, we made appointments and to go get tested. So my middle brother found out he was positive first. So that following like day or two, I went to go get tested. I came back positive. For me, I'm just like, I'm gonna just try to treat this like I normally do when I have like a cold or something like that, because what I've heard, like when you call the hospital, it'll say like for whatever reason, where you're trying to make an appointment for something or whatever, it'll be like an automated message, and it'll tell you that the symptoms will pretty much clear up on its own. So that's why I was treating it like a regular cold, right? My brothers, they started like taking a bunch of vitamins. I took like one set of vitamins, and then after I took them, I was like, you know what, let me read the label. Normally my first instinct with anything, whether if it's food or whatever, is to read labels. For whatever reason, I didn't even read this label. I just took the pills. So on all the pills, it pretty much said basically warning or be precautious or whatever if you're breastfeeding or pregnant, yada yada blah blah. So I'm like, oh heck no, I'm not taking these. So I consulted with my kid's pediatrician because I had took the kids to go get tested at Kaiser. Ooh Jesus, that's a whole story in its own. Okay, talk about, my soul was just so hurt. I was like, oh my God, like this was worse than when they get shots. And probably on the same scale, but I don't know, just somebody, keep in mind they were asleep, and then imagine being woken up by a Q-tip going up your nose, and then by that moment they're waking up and they just start, you know, they're startled. Babies are easily startled, obviously, right? Then after the nose, obviously they go down the mouth, and it was just, Lord have mercy, you would thought somebody was slicing both their necks. I was just like, oh Jesus, Lord, let this be over. But as soon as I started driving, 60 seconds to about 2 minutes later, if that, they like stopped crying, and eventually they fell asleep. So I was like, all right, cool, like I'm glad that's over. So y'all, I don't know if you can hear me over this mask, but if you can, they woke up, so I gotta keep it pushing. All right, so I'm gonna still try to talk to y'all with this mask over my mouth and try to push a stroller. So talk about multitasking at its finest. Okay y'all, so basically go get the babies tested. My son came back positive, right? And then my daughter came back negative. However, they said it could have been a false negative because they're always around each other. Obviously, they're twins, they're siblings. We're all in the same household. Y'all, it's hard to talk, walk, and breathe. Okay, this mask ain't nothing to play with. Jesus. So anyways, so that's that, right? So for me, I'm like, dang, what could I do for them? Like me, I'm over here juicing and taking these like prenatals, because they have like zinc in them, and I wasn't taking prenatals, you know, post-pregnancy until this until when I became positive. Their pediatrician said those were okay to take, so I got like some vegan, I'm not a vegan, but the multivitamins are vegan. They some all natural like gummies, like they taste pretty good too. So I gotta remind myself, girl, don't do it, they ain't gummy bears, so don't overdo it, okay? Just take 2 and keep it pushing. So I'm like, damn, what could I do for them, right? So and keep in mind, my daughter didn't have any like symptoms, but my son had like a slight cough. It wasn't like severe, it was maybe like a couple times a day he would cough, right? And I'm just like, okay, what the heck do I do for him? Like, I have things I'm doing. If you're wondering why, oh, why not go to the hospital? Well, I don't know if you guys know, but if you're not experiencing like no severe symptoms like breathing issues, like, you know, respiratory problems, or if you ain't looking like you damn near on your last leg, they're not gonna admit you in the hospital. That's just what it is, okay? So all you have to do basically left is remedies at home. Just do what you do. Then I'm like, all right, let me just give him a little Tylenol. I don't know if hopefully it works, I don't know. You know, but I noticed a slight difference, whatever, right? So then my daughter, before she wasn't experiencing anything, right? And then she started like light coughs, maybe sneezing here and there. Just making sure the light's still good, you know. Coughing or maybe sneezing here and there, but nothing like super severe where I had to like take them to the ER. When you do get your results and they do come back positive, everybody and their mama is calling you from, at least that's how it works for SF County, I don't know, calling you, checking in, seeing if you need anything, because you have to be quarantined, right? So you can't leave the house. So I had people calling my cell number, asking me if I needed any toiletries or any food supplies. They would bring all that stuff for free, yo. Like, they asked me if I needed cleaning supplies, because they knew I couldn't leave the house. So it was kind of cool, like the resources that are provided. You do come back positive and they do know you're quarantined, there are those services that will bring you supplies if you need it, right? So let me try to keep it pushing because I don't want the kids to get restless. And now they're both up. They're quiet though, they're quiet, you know, so I'm gonna, you know, enjoy that while they're quiet so I can finish giving y'all my story time. like I said, I was doing all the juicing and the stuff to get myself right. And you know, I'm breastfeeding, so I know the kids are good, especially since I'm breastfeeding and they're getting all like their nutrients that way and stuff. Yeah, so I'm around people. I'm not around anybody, so I took my mask off for a sec because I can't breathe. I forgot to tell you guys, so keep in mind I didn't experience any symptoms. And my middle brother, I think he said he had like a slight headache, but no one's gonna think, oh, coronavirus, you know, you got a headache, you can get a headache from anything. The most I experienced was like slight tenderness in my throat. It was like slight tender, but it was like I could still eat, I could still drink, I still have my taste buds. I didn't experience anything like severe. Like I didn't have any like like crazy like symptoms or whatever, right? So me and my brother were both super really healthy people for the most part. Okay, y'all, so I guess I'm kind of going all over the place with this story, but forgot to say they ended up keeping my mom in the hospital. I'm not gonna go into like hella detail, but long story short is like be mindful around your older family members, you know. The ish is real. They not effing around on the news when they talking about that the older population is more susceptible to this virus. That ish is true, and not only are they more susceptible, the way their body reacts to it is totally different than maybe somebody who's like healthier and younger like myself. And my mom is one of the most healthiest people that I know. She is, I want to say 72, does not smoke cigarettes, she doesn't do any type of drug, she likes her little champagnes every now and then, she doesn't have high blood pressure, diabetes, none of that stuff that's more prone in the black community. Yeah, they kept her and she was in there for probably about 2.5, 3 weeks, something like that, and she had, they called it COVID pneumonia. Her lungs were being affected by somebody who was not a smoker at all. Can you imagine? Like, damn, you're the most healthiest person on this planet. Not the most, I'm sorry. She's one of the most healthiest people I know, and I'm like, what the heck? It was definitely nerve-wracking with her being in the hospital, and then we're all at home wearing masks, you know, around one another, and you know, stuff like that because we're positive. So it was a lot going on in my household for about 3 weeks. And my mom's home now. She's on the road to recovery, but she's headed in the right direction. But while she was in the hospital, it was definitely a nerve-wracking moment, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. All right, so getting back to me, let me actually put on my mask because I just forgot that quick. I'm talking to y'all about corona, and I'm walking and I ain't got my mask on. Now I'm around people, so I'm gonna have to put it on, y'all. She walked so damn close, like, girl, back up. I low-key forgot. I'm trying to think, where did I last leave off with my story time? I'm trying to remember. I don't know. It don't even matter. All y'all need to know is y'all better believe fat meat is greasy. Some of y'all out there parlaying, thinking that y'all is like invincible, can't get the corona. I stopped again, y'all. That's why he's crying. Oh, but okay, so anyways, basically I tested positive basically after 14 days, because they tell you to quarantine for 14 days, right? So basically after that was up, and after my kids were done quarantining, because they got tested after me, they want you to quarantine like 14 days after the date you get tested, something like that, whatever, right? Oh, that's if you come back positive. And then once that was in the clear, then I went and got retested, and I came back negative. So for you guys who are not pill poppers like myself, you know, just incorporate some oranges, stuff with like vitamin C. That isn't the only thing with vitamin C in it. You could Google fruits, or you know, stuff like that, or some home remedies. Drink some tea, not just like no any tea with hella sugar. You know, get the good stuff, and don't be trying to pack it with sugar. You know, throw some ginger or some lemons or something up in it, and some agave or whatever your, you know, choice of doctoring up tea is. me tell you, COVID, it spreads like roaches. I'm just here to tell you from experience, it spreads like roaches. That's just what it do. I mean, I don't really know how else to explain the virus. They're not gonna say it spread like roaches on TV. They're gonna use some other term, but I'm here to tell y'all in layman terms, it spread like roaches. Literally all it takes is contact with somebody. They could just be talking to you, because you naturally probably spit little particles anyway when you talking. That's why they say forget the 6 feet. How about no feet? Just give me 50 feet. Give me just back up, okay? Just go all the way back, because you don't know who have it. Like, it's just like, you know, the same way y'all get checked for like STDs, y'all better start regular getting checkups for the COVID. Coming from somebody who really got no symptoms, just how y'all can't tell who got like a STD unless it's like a herpes sitting on your lip and you like, ooh, okay, you got something going on there, I don't want no parts of that. But like, as far as like COVID or whatever, you don't really know who have it. You don't, like, just by looking. And also, you don't know if you have it. You could be asymptomatic and not show no symptoms. So for that reason alone, y'all might want to get y'all regular, you know, checkup. You know, I'll put the link up to where I got my COVID test, because they didn't go up the nose or all the way back in the mouth. It's actually a self-administered test. There was somebody standing there directing me on what to do and how to do it. She had on like her little monkey outbreak, you know, gear while I was doing it or whatever, and she was telling me how to do the swab and stuff like that. I went to the same place the first time when I tested positive, and I went back to the same place again when my results came back as negative. Just be cautious, because you never know. Like, my mama got it at the ER. Fortunately, you know, she's back home and out the hospital and on the road to recovery, and obviously not everybody's gonna have that same experience, but because obviously my experience wasn't like that. Like, my personal experience with COVID I wasn't hospitalized, but for that reason more so, you guys really should be out there being safe and not you know, just being around hella different people and things like that. Be in like little small groups and make sure that y'all on agreements that you guys are safe and things like that, so you know what's what and what's really going on. That was my little story time. I tried to make it quick. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out, but if you guys enjoyed my story time, or if you guys could relate, you know, let me know in the comments. And that's that. Peace.